I got absolutely trounced in a tournament last night, so we're going to take a break from playing some games and maybe focus a little bit on some news. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we have some really cool news about, I feel like I said that weird, we have some really cool news about upcoming Pokemon sets and products that I want to share with you guys, and all this information comes to us from PokeBeach, which is a fantastic website for news, translations, really anything to do with Pokemon. And so there's a link to PokeBeach in the video description. Also, if you're in the mood to click stuff, you can click subscribe and leave a like on this video, maybe leave a comment, all that kind of stuff tells YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I am now affiliated with Dragon Shield, which means you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro. Lastly, and if you use that link, I get a kickback, which means I can make more better videos for you guys. And lastly, if you want to become a channel member, there's a join button. You click that to see all the different perks you get. None of that's ever expected. Just you being here watching is enough for me. Now, with all that out of the way, let's head over to PokeBeach and take a look at some of these cool stuff coming up. Actually, before we go any further, if you're watching this video today, the day it released, which is February, it is April. It's April. If you're watching this video the day it releases, April 15th, I almost said February. If you're watching this April 15th, I just gotta get it out, Nick. Just say what you gotta say. Registration for the New Jersey Regionals goes live today, April 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be ready for it. Make sure you have your Pokemon Play ID. Make sure you have an account with RK9. And get ready to register, because based on their Facebook post, seems like registration space is going to be kind of small, so make sure that you're ready for it. Finally, PokeBeach, let's do it. So here we are, PokeBeach, and the first thing I want to talk about is the Trainer's Toolkit for 2022. It's going to come with 2 copies of Lumineon V, and you can kind of see the alternate artwork somewhat, but it's there. And we're going to get this on July 1st for $30, and it's going to have more than, I'm just going to read it straight from the website, more than 50 useful cards to power up your decks, including a bunch of trainers, some special energy cards, and 2 copies of Lumineon V. It's going to have more than 100 basic energy, it's way too many energy, 4 TCG booster packs, 65 card sleeves, a deck building guide, some damage dice, and a competition coin flip die. You're going to get some condition markers, a VSTAR marker, and a code card for Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. Now, whether or not it's actually Pokemon Trading Card Game Live or we're still using it on PTCGO come July, I have no idea. I mean, it's April right now. We got 3 months. I would imagine Live will be out in the next couple of months. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because it's just not good the way it is right now. But anyway, that's not the focus of today's video. I don't want to get back on that. So yeah, this is just a really cool product for people who might have been out of the TCG scene for a little bit and kind of want to get back into it. Now that there's going to be some Pokemon from Legends Arceus in the game, in the TCG, that might pull some people who like, oh, I really liked Hisuian Samurott or Hisuian Goodra or whatever, and I want to play more with those. And so maybe some people will start trickling in from the video game like that. Maybe people who haven't played in a very long time are coming back, or new players. It's just a really good product to kind of get yourself a bunch of staple cards, to get yourself a couple of packs, maybe, and pretty much everything you need to start playing the game immediately. The sleeves are usually not the greatest, but hey, they're sleeves, so it's good enough to at least start playing at locals until you decide that you want to get some better sleeves. So Trainer's Toolkit 2022, super cool. And let's move on to the real focus of the set. The latest set in the Pokemon TCG has been revealed officially, and that is Dark Phantasma, featuring Hisuian Zoroark. And now this, according to PokeBeach, we found out about the trademark of this back in September 2021, and then we started to hear a little bit of information about it early in March of this year. And we're going to see a bunch of Pokemon. It's going to be a lot of Psychic type Pokemon. 71 cards before Secret Rares, releasing in Japan on May 13th. And yeah, there's going to be some cool cards. So we're going to kind of talk, we're going to skip some of the cards that like we don't necessarily need. Like we don't necessarily need the Ghastly and the Haunter, but the Gengar here is going to be kind of important, and why it's important will make sense in a couple of minutes. So Gengar, Stage 2 Pokemon ability, Creeping Back. Once during your turn, you may put this card from your discard pile onto your bench. If you do, put 3 damage counters on this Pokemon. This is a really cool ability because that means you don't even need the Ghastlies and Haunters to get this Gengar onto the field. You put 3 damage counters on it, and I know you might be like, why is that a good thing? Again, it will make sense soon. Radiant Gardevoir is a really cool basic Pokemon. Remember, it is a Radiant Pokemon, so you can't have more than 1 Radiant Pokemon in your deck. And that includes so you can't have a Radiant Hawlucha and a Radiant Gardevoir. You can only have 1 single Radiant Pokemon. Its ability, Devotion Veil. Your Pokemon take 20 less damage from your opponent's V's attacks. And that's really cool. You know, most Pokemon in the game that are attacking are Pokemon V, so you take 20 less damage. And then it does have 4 Psychic Colors. Colors Psychic, which does 70 damage, plus 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Notice it says energy, not energy card, so double turbo energy will count twice, so you would hit for 40, based on just a double turbo energy. So, moving on, Hisuian Zoroark evolves from Hisuian Zorua. Hex Ruin, it is a free attack, and this is a Stage 1 Pokemon. At the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon is knocked out. Pretty cool. I don't know how useful the abilities or the attack is going to be. There might be ways to like item lock or trap Pokemon into the active. You throw a Tool Jammer onto this thing so your opponent's air balloons don't work. You throw a Galamine in there, and now it's a little bit harder for them to retreat. Stuff like that. I'm sure there are ways to make this work. But we've seen things like this in the past that just didn't pan out. Maybe this will be a little better as a single prize Pokemon versus like Galarian Slowking, which is a V. So, you know, I've never been a fan of these kinds of attacks, but who knows. And then you have Bring Back for just for a Psychic Energy. Choose 1 card from your discard pile, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Pretty cool. I definitely see this being more for control. Your opponent's kind of exhausted their resources. Then you could use Hex of Ruin, and then you could also use Bring Back to get really anything you want, which is really, really cool. But getting into the more important or the more focused cards of this set, Hisuian Zoroark V. 210 HP, is a colorless Pokemon, and it also has a free attack, Hollow Swap. 30 damage, and you may switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. It's Strafe on Rapid Strike Urshifu V, but now instead of being a fighting or any energy, it's just totally free, which is really cool. And then you have Shadow Cyclone for 3 colorless energies, 130 damage, move 1 energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. I don't know how often it's going to really come into play, but it says move 1 energy, not 1 basic energy, so technically you could move double turbo energy from this to like an Arceus, or this to a Lucario V, or something. I don't know how often it's going to happen, but it's there for you. And of note, before we move on to the V-Star, it is weak to fighting. So even though Hisuian Zoroark canonically is Ghost Normal, which means it would have immunity to fighting as a Ghost type, in the TCG it is a fighting weak Pokemon. So keep that in mind. It's, you know, it's not... personally, I think it should have no weakness, but I think that might make it a little bit too strong, especially when we see the V-Star. Hisuian Zoroark V-Star, Baleful Curse, 2 colorless energies, which means for 1 double turbo energy attachment, you do 50 damage times the number of Pokemon that you have in play with any damage counters on them. You can have up to 6 Pokemon in play. If all 6 have damage counters, you are doing 300 damage for just 1, well, I guess it'd be 280 for just 1 attachment, right? 1 double turbo energy attachment, you're hitting for 280. Now with Choice Belt, you're hitting for 310. Now with Hawlucha, if your opponent's Pokemon is a VMAX, you're hitting for 340, knocking out anything in the game in 1 hit. Very, very crazy. Of course, that doesn't include if your opponent has like Duraludon with Big Charm. We're talking native or base health. You are one-shotting anything in the game. Again, you are weak to fighting. And here's the craziest part, is the ability, Phantom Star. It professes research. Discard your hand, draw 7. So now, when this thing releases, you're going to be able to, I don't know, play this, dump your hand, use the ability, draw 7, play Luminion, search your deck for research, do it again. You just drew 15 cards, 1 for the start of your turn, 7 with Hisuian Zoroark, 7 with research. You drew 15 cards. That's 25% of your deck as early as turn 2, if you go second, right? Or I guess at all ever, but if you go first, that's like a crazy draw. So once per game ability, VSTAR power, so you do have to use it wisely, but very powerful ability. I think it's going to be a pretty popular card. Zoroark in general is a popular card, or a popular Pokemon, and a lot of people do really like Hisuian Zoroark, so don't be surprised if you see this Pokemon quite a bit. Baleful Curse does damage based on the number of Pokemon that have damage counters on them. Well, remember that Gengar before, that when it comes into play, it has, it puts 3 damage counters on itself, which means now automatically you have a Pokemon with damage counters on it. Also, there's that stadium, what is it, Bog, the swamp one, where you put a basic Pokemon into play, and it takes 20 damage. You can just fill up your bench with a bunch of basic Pokemon. Now they all have 2 damage counters on it. So even if the Pokemon at the stadium gets bumped the next turn, you already have a bench full of damaged Pokemon. Baleful Curse now hits for max damage. There is also going to be another card that's going to help combo with this, and we'll get to it in just a minute. The card that I'm most excited for of this video, I don't know if it's the card I'm most excited for the entire set, because I haven't seen the whole set yet, is Hisuian Goodra V. And you might be a little surprised at that because of its typing and attacks and everything, but I'll explain why. 220 health, Water Metal, Toppling Goo, 60 damage. Your opponent switches their active with one of their benched Pokemon. They get to choose which one. And then Shell Rollout, Water Metal Colorless, 140 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. All attacks. Really cool. It does have a retreat of 3, which is kind of hefty, but we'll make do. Hisuian Goodra VSTAR, Iron Rollout, Water Metal Colorless, 200 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 80 less damage from attacks. And we compare this with that Radiant Gardevoir we talked about, where that also takes your Pokemon take 20 less damage from Pokemon V attacks, and almost every Pokemon attacking you is a Pokemon V, so you're taking 100 less damage. You have 270 health, which means we slap a Big Charm on this thing. We're at 300, and the ability Moisture Star. You can use this ability heal all damage from this Pokemon. So you pair this with something like Arceus to help get that Water Metal Colorless, right? You Trinity Charge, Trinity Nova onto the Goodra. Your Arceus takes damage. Your Sharon's Carrot, now they don't take prizes. You send up the Goodra. It takes a lot less damage after using Iron Rollout. And then they attack into it. You attack back. They attack into it. And then you can heal it all up. And now they just wasted a lot of time. I mean, this has the potential to be a nice little tank deck. You can use Hyper Potions. You can use, if it doesn't rotate, you can use Lucky Ice Pop. There are some ways I think we can make this a really defensive, tanky deck, and I'm looking forward to really challenging myself to work with this deck. I am looking forward to it. I also do really like Hisuian Goodra, probably one of my favorite Hisuian Pokemon outside of Ursaluna, which technically isn't, I guess, a Hisuian variant, but, you know, it's in the Hisui region. Moving on to some trainer cards, and one of these is going to help Goodra more than the others. Damage Pump. Move up to 2 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to any other Pokemon in any way you like. So you can take those 3 damage counters that Gengar got, take 1, put him on another Pokemon, take another one and put him onto a different Pokemon, which means Gengar and Damage Pump can start to put damage on 3 different Pokemon. You don't even need the Bog, and you can move one of those damage counters to the active, so that now you're hitting for maximum 300 damage, depending on how many other basic Pokemon or Pokemon you have in play with damage counters. Very, very good combo. Might be a little harder to pull off than people think, but it's still there, and I still think it'll be very interesting. Lake Acuity is a stadium card. Pokemon with water or fighting energy attached to them take 20 less damage from opponent's Pokemon attack. So Goodra takes 80 less damage after Iron Rollout. Gardevoir means you take 20 less damage, and in Lake Acuity, because you will have a water energy attached, means you take an additional 20 less damage for a total of 120 damage reduced from your opponent's attacks. I don't know how many things are hitting that hard where, you know, alright, Trinity Nova, or yeah, let's just go Trinity Nova, hits for 180. Minus 120 means you're only getting hit for 60 damage. You have 300 HP with a Big Charm. They have to do that 5 times. 5 times. And okay, fine, they do it 3 times, right? You're playing Arceus and Teleon, they get some pings in there, they get a Zigzagoon ping, they get a Choice Bell, they hit you 3 times. Moisture Star. And they have to start all over again. And they've used their Sharon's Care, most like, or they might have used their Sharon's Care. They waste, you know, they've used their Zigzagoon ping. Maybe you have like a tool scrapper to get rid of things like Choice Bells, which is what I would personally put in there. I mean, come on. They have to hit you a bunch with Arceus decks. Even Mew VMAX with 4 Power Tablets and a Choice Belt and Techno Blast can hit for 360 damage. But if you take 120 less damage, they're only hitting you for 240. Even if they hit you with, even if you don't have Lake Acuity in play, they hit you for 260. That's still not enough to knock you out without a Big Charm. You still have 270 health. You still have 10 left. That's as much damage as they can do. So now you Moisture Star, and now they wasted all of those resources trying to knock out a Pokemon that they can't. I don't know how to say this name. Eye Scan. Draw 2 cards if your active Pokemon has Hisuian in it. Draw 2 more. It's okay, right? Draw 4 with Hisuian Zoroark, Hisuian Decidueye, Samurott. It's okay. We'll see. Oh man. Arizu. Search your deck for up to 3 evolution Pokemon that don't have a rule box. Reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. I mean, this is great for single prize decks. So something like Rapid Strike Malamar, which you can find you can find your Malamars, you can find your Octillery, you can find your Cinccino's, you can find your Drizzles, you can find your Inteleons, whatever it is you're looking for. You just can't find Pokemon with rule boxes. Do keep in mind, Radiant Pokemon do have rule boxes. So, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole reveal. Like I said, I'm most excited for Hisuian Goodra. I think it'd be a really cool defensive deck. I love playing, like, when I'm playing, like, an RPG or something like that. I love, like, that tank role. And this seems like it might let you do a little bit of tanking. So, I'm excited for it. You throw some lucky ice pops in there, and you could really be healing away a lot of damage. Another quick little thing that I think maybe some people aren't discussing is everyone's looking at Damage Pump as spreading damage out for Hisuian Zoroark to attack and do more damage, but you can also move damage counts off of Goodra so that it can tank more damage. You play 2 of these and you can move 40 damage off of it, which can be significant in some matches. So it's not only to make Hisuian Zoroark attack more or do more damage with its attack, but it can be used as a defensive restorative option for Goodra as well. So it works both ways, and that's all I wanted to say. So there you go, Dark Phantasma reveal, at least what we've seen so far. There's going to be more cards coming out, and maybe we'll make shorts on them. Maybe after like a big reveal, we'll do another video. I'm not really sure, but stay tuned to Twitter and Instagram if you want to see more. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Found it a little informative. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. Tells YouTube. I did all that at the beginning, but like, it really does help. And yeah, that's gonna do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.